what's up, you guys? It's your mom, Brenda Butchanan. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not their mom, I'm your mom. Well, how can it be cool if it doesn't make any sense, Jeremy? Well, I think going outside and cleaning your toilet and flossing regularly are cool, but I don't see you rushing to do any of that. You better be storming off to practice dental hygiene. Sorry about that, Mamarinos. Jeremy's been on my case about starting my podcast with something more dynamic instead of a few seconds of me trying to figure out if the recording works or not. He wants me to have a catchphrase or something. Let me just try a couple more. It's a great day for literature. Literature, like books, book club. Or how about let's get lit? On historical romance novels featuring a strong female lead and themes revolving around the importance of family. See, I'm not too shabby at this. Must be because I am in my element this week. My zone. As Heather would say, my chakras are on lock-rud and my Mercury is retrograding. Something like that. Because it is the most wonderful time of the year. Garage sale weekend. Garage sale weekend, for those of you who are not seasoned veterans like myself, is the one weekend during the summer when the whole town schedules their garage sales at the same time. It's a great way to swoop up some discounts if you know what you're doing. And I do know what I'm doing. What was I doing? Shoot, right, podcast. This is about book club recap, Brenda, not about that spicy new wicker lawn furniture you picked up around the corner. Pull yourself together. This week's book begins with our heroine, Samantha Hucklington, digging through a box of old photographs she finds in her closet. All her fondest memories from adolescence are captured there. Going to the spring dance with her high school boyfriend, placing second in the county napkin folding competition, and spending summer afternoons on the family farm without actually doing any farm work. But in one of those photos, she sees something amiss. More amiss than the third place contestant's rosebud napkin folds. She sees that one of her old family photos shows her and her long-lost cousins all lined up. But, and here's the twist, all of the cousins had been murdered in the exact order in which they stood in the photograph. And here's the spook. She's next in line. In that moment, Samantha knows that she has a vital choice to make. She can become the victim or the victee, the hunter or the huntee, the garager or the garagee. That last one doesn't have anything to do with the book. That's just garage sale lingo. You're the garager or the garagee. Or you're Joni, who sits on her porch all weekend ordering household necessities on Amazon Prime instead of partaking in community festivities. Or you are Brenda Butchanan, garage sailor extraordinaire. That's right, I host the sale and sail the streets for affordable second-hand goods. Although, to be fair, I do it with the help of my wonderful family. Jeremy helped me sort through our belongings, although he had more to say about the things I kept than the things I picked to sell. Ma, what do we need 3 different ceramic owls for? The shelf in the bathroom is only so big. Psh. And Hank was in charge of hawking our wares while I shopped. I left with the rainy day jar in tow, and he sat in a folding chair in the garage. Watching. Waiting. Oh, shoot, and you're all waiting for me to get on with the book club recap, aren't you? God, pull yourself together, Brenda. Samantha knows that she has to find out who's been murdering her long-lost cousins before she's long-lost to the void. So she starts with those closest to her. Which is coincidentally my garage sailing plan of attack. What a convenient excuse to talk about GSW again. Heather was my first stop, since she's right next door. She doesn't have a garage sale so much as she sells things in her garage, which is still technically a garage sale, but not. See, she's really into making jewelry. She's got an Etsy store and everything. Heather's Handmade Healing _76. The 76 is because there are apparently 75 other Etsy stores called Heather's Handmade Healing, but between that and the teaching yoga classes at the gym, she seems to be doing all right for herself. I told her that one of the necklaces she had on sale was cute, and she said, "It's not cute, it's turquoise and black kyanite, and it's a talisman of energetic protection." She didn't make a lick of sense to me, but clearly she likes it because she's always got at least 5 bracelets on that look exactly the same. Anyway, I bought some purple thing that's supposed to ease loneliness or something. Just, to be supportive. They're just rocks. Then I went to Helen's place. She was actually holding a children's sale. Just tables after tables of children's clothes, all different ages and genders and styles. I asked her how she ended up with so much, and she said, "Kids, they grew out of their old clothes so fast." And I nodded, remembering years' worth of nice JCPenney polo shirts lost to the uncaring grips of puberty. That and middle school Jeremy never wanting to wear anything but oversized Ninja Turtle t-shirts. But then her child, Birch, came out to practice their Healy tricks, and I swear the yellow corduroys they were wearing were the exact same size as the cargo khakis on the table next to me. And I asked Helen, can't any of the kids wear hand-me-downs from their older siblings? And she said, "What siblings? It's just Birch, no hand-me-downs to be handed down." And I was confused, but I realized Birch must be the oldest. And I said, "Well, most of the clothing is perfectly good, and Birch could squeeze into these just fine." And she got all flustered and told me that some styles need to just die. Die, death, murder, book club. God, where was I? Something. Samantha asks her family if they have any clues, and nobody knows anything. There, good. She knows she's not going to solve any mysteries at home, so she decides to revisit the family farm. She hasn't been there in years. When you're accustomed to a comfy suburban lifestyle, why would you just leave to surround yourself with pig pens and cow crap? I mean, that just starts to sound like Sparkling Springs. The neighboring housing development, it's the worst. Folks over there think they're so great just because they have crown molding and stone facing and those little handles on their garage doors that you can't actually use to open the garage. It's terrible. Nobody ever has an excuse to go over there, unless they are a dedicated bargain hunter on garage sale weekend. But don't get me wrong, I hated every second of it. From the moment I drove past the fountain at their community monument, I was suffering in the shade of the sprawling elm trees that line their streets. And, of course, the first sale I spotted had to be Sharon Paulson from PTA. She always acts like she's so much more important than me just because she's the vice president and I'm the secretary. And she had 2 Ninja Juicers for sale. 2! That's just showing off. I mean, it was a good deal, but I said, "Lead me not into temptation, O mighty garage sale gods." My mission was to get in and out as quickly as possible, but of course, Sharon paused her bargaining over a perfectly good Dirt Devil hand vacuum that she doesn't need because her floors never get messy to come and talk to me. She's all, "Brenda, it's been so long." I wish it could have been longer, and excited for PTA to start back up. I am not excited to have to sit next to her every Tuesday afternoon. And I listened to your podcast. It would be really good if you had better sound equipment or subject matter. And I go, "Excuse me? Some of us don't have money to waste on professional recording equipment, and I think I get along just fine with the microphone Jeremy uses to play Minecraft with his internet friends." And some of us can't talk about the 3 European vacations we took over the course of the summer because our husbands are very busy as the manager of Home Depot. But I happen to think that literary discussion is far more interesting than ranking the top hotel continental breakfasts in Venice, Sharon. I didn't say that, of course. I laughed politely, but let me tell you, the next time she makes a comment like that, I'll for sure rip her a new one. She will be devastated. Just like Samantha Hucklington was devastated over the gruesome murders of her cousins. Yeah, how's that for subject matter, Sharon? She arrives at the farm, and she doesn't find any clues, but she does find, wait for it, Johnny James Johnson, her former spring fling sweetheart. He's got the same suit on he wore that night 15 years ago. And he's got flowers and chocolates and the perfect technique for shoulder rubs. And he's all, Samantha, it's been so long. And she's all, Johnny, do you know anything about... And he's all, shh, this reunion is fate. Let's just live in this moment. I'll tell you one thing, I'd much rather live in that moment than spend another moment with Sharon Paulson. But just as I whirled around to head back to my car, she came. Beverly. Yeah, bless her peat-picking heart. Beverly is the president of the PTA, in case you didn't know. As if you wouldn't know, she does so much for the school, for our children, for us. Gosh, what a gal. And she says to me, Hi, Brenda. And I say, Hi, Beverly. Bless your pea-picking heart. And she says, Excited for PTA to start back up? And I say, Absolutely, tootly. And then I regret adding the tootly to the end because, come on, Brenda, that's not a word, but Beverly, bless her pea-picking heart, doesn't seem to notice because she and Sharon start talking about some plans for something or other, and she buys one of the ninja juicers and starts heading back to her house. And as she passes me, she says, Heard about your podcast, Brenda. Can you believe that? Beverly, bless her pea-picking heart, heard about my podcast, which means maybe she listens to my podcast, which means maybe I should stop talking about her because if she does listen, she doesn't want to hear about herself. She wants to hear about the books, right? She must like books. I mean, maybe. I don't know what she likes. It's not like we ever chat over brunch or anything, although that would be so nice. Maybe I should see if she wants to go get brunch or something. Books first. So, Samantha is swept up in the rekindled romance of her past. So swept up that she completely forgets about the murders. Her and Johnny James Johnson get married and move to the suburbs and raise 2 beautiful children and retire early to move to a lovely little cottage in the one part of Florida that doesn't smell like a gas station breakfast sandwich. Truly a romance for the ages. Oh, and then he murders her. Yeah, apparently their whole relationship was just an elaborate way to finish off his murder scheme. I guess every good thing has to come to a close. Like garage sale weekend. Gone again until next year, but at least I have a new set of Pyrex measuring cups to remember all the good times. Which is good because I don't have much else anymore. I came home to find Hank standing in the middle of an empty garage. Everything was gone. Everything. I mean, I know the goal is to sell things, but everything? I'm sure I could have found a use for all those novelty picture frames and half-used jar candles eventually. And then I walk inside to find out that apparently we sold everything but all the old video games I finally convinced Jeremy to get rid of. Apparently, he sent Jasper a Snapchat from the garage about how bored he was, and Jasper saw the games in the background, and they got all nostalgic over how much fun they had with them when they were in middle school, and now they've got cases and empty Dorito bags all over my living room floor. They've probably been there all weekend. I wouldn't know. I was garage sailing. I would have scolded them, but I had a ninja juicer to set up. Anywho, this week's book was The Longest Ride by Nicholas Sparks. And the theme? Love, obviously. Alrighty, that's it for this week. Say hi to the kids for me. Bye-bye. Momcast is written, voiced, and produced by Lily Indy. Follow Brenda on Twitter and Instagram at MomcastPodcast, and tune in every other Sunday on your favorite podcast platform, so long as that platform is here, where this podcast is.